Hi, my name is Cameron Hughes, and I am the creator of the movie or short film that you guys are about to watch. My inspiration for this came from um, artificial intelligence or AI, which is something that's fascinated me for a long time. And I wanted to create a story using only AI. So I went to a program and I made all the pictures that I wanted in the style that I wanted. And then I went to another software and it was like a text generation software. So I would enter a prompt and then it would give me, a script for a movie based off of that. And so I did that whole process. So everything that you're about to watch is completely created by AI other than the voiceover. Enjoy it. Nestled in the depths of a desolate countryside, there lies a small school that few have had the privilege to experience. Despite its isolation from civilization, this educational facility has become renowned for providing students with a diverse and stimulating curriculum. Its teachers are passionate and often employ unconventional techniques to ensure their pupils learn through discovery and exploration rather than memorization. With creative solutions to unique problems, one can easily discern why this hidden gem is so highly regarded despite its geographical remoteness. However, this was not the case for one particular student, whose entire life was about to change. Valerie was feeling incredibly bored in class, which almost felt as if time had slowed to a sluggish crawl. Despite the instructor's adeptness and well-owned knowledge of the topic, their delivery lacked the pizzazz needed to capture her attention. Furthermore, the material simply flew over her head due to its monotonous nature and lack of relatable examples. It evoked no real emotion or excitement from her. Although she longed for something stimulating, all she could muster up was a yawn. Valerie sat next to her friend Stephen, but something was different about him. His bone-chilling aura caused Valerie to freeze in terror. His pallid complexion and putrid odor reminded her of death, decaying flesh, and untold miseries beyond her comprehension. His cold gaze promised dismal consequences should she dare make an escape or try to alert the teacher. Aiden spoke out and said, "Gee whiz, Miss Johnson, I'm pretty sure Steven is a zombie or something. This isn't just some urban legend either. This is a bona fide case of something you'd never expect to see. And it's not like your typical horror movie scenario. No cheesy special effects or cliched dialogue here. It's definitely an uncanny situation that must be addressed swiftly." Stephen did not plead his case. He only let out a low groan. Mrs. Johnson called Stephen to the front of the class, punishing him for his delinquency and asking him to account for his actions. She reminded him that no individual is above the rules, and it was imperative for him to behave in class. Stephen savagely bit Mrs. Johnson, transforming her into a shambling, undead zombie in no time at all. His frightening behavior baffled those present, their emotions oscillating between fear and revulsion. The tragedy unfolded in front of them, and the sight of Mrs. Johnson's decaying body made for an unsettling vision. In this instance, Stephen had showed his true colors as a monster beyond compare. Everyone went into a panic and started running out of the classroom. Valerie's mind raced, trying to find a way to break free from this horrible nightmare. A scream of panic escaped her mouth. "What am I doing?" she thought. She could barely breathe. Was he going to kill me? Was this what happened when people were killed? 1,000 questions raced through her mind as she tried to escape. Valerie found 5 other students trying to escape, and they all decided to head to the library. She opened the door to the library and almost spoke out to the librarian before she saw that the librarian was a zombie. She was about to run from the scene, not knowing what was coming for her. The librarian's eyes were still wide and staring at the ceiling, as if she was trying to see something. She was still alive, but she was also dead. "Ah!" she heard from behind her before she even had the chance to close the door. The students behind her were being eaten by zombies. She turned to see one of them standing there. He was the one who had told the teacher about Stephen. His face twisted in horror. All she could do was run from those monsters and head into the office. She was terrified. There was blood everywhere. A zombie had ripped the face off of her friend. That was when she realized that the zombies were not humans. The librarian was still making an attempt to eat her. Her friends were screaming for help as she ran. Valerie escaped from the bloodthirsty zombies by running into a crawl space that led to the principal's office. She was safe for the time being. She's been in the crawl space for about 20 minutes. She was still alive, but she wasn't safe. Not for long. There was no way out, no way to escape. But she had a plan that would save her. If I could make it into the office, maybe I could check the cameras and find a safe way out, she thought to herself, for she could not speak out loud. Once Valerie went into the office, what she saw stripped away any hope she had of being safe from the zombies. All of the office workers had been turned into those monsters. Valerie had a sudden realization. She was the only one who remained human. Valerie had to run to escape the zombie horde, and that was a risk. But it was a risk she had to take if she wanted to survive. So she bolted for the front door, dodging undead students and staff the whole way. She made it to the exit, but when she got close enough to see her reflection, she screamed out loud. Valerie had been turned into a zombie. She could not accept the fact that she had turned. She had to turn to face it, which made her scream. Her face was so distorted that you could not see the person who was screaming. You just heard the sound of her screaming, like a banshee from European legends. How long have I been? And before she could finish her thought, her consciousness slipped and went to black. She was now just another one of the monsters around her. The school hallway was filled with zombies. Not a single human was left. Everyone had turned into one of the monsters, and humanity was gone. Zombies started flooding out of buildings and cars, trying to find anything they could sink their teeth into. There was one zombie who seemed to be the leader of all the undead. The zombie was surrounded by the rest of them. It had a mouth like a human, except it had sharp teeth and jaws that were like the jaws of a shark, and it could bite on anything. A few of these undead had mouths too. One of those mouths was on a zombie who had been eating a corpse. "Eat!" the zombie screamed. It was so loud that every zombie around the world heard it, and that was the end of everything as people knew it.